because I was able to at least.
Are we getting married? No.
In small doses. It was still confined and restricted.
It's okay.
At this point, I'm sure all of you watched the live from last night that I posted of Gypsy, the baby, and Ken. Gypsy showed the baby's face. I'm going to reserve my comments. But the baby definitely looks like the both of them. But the fact that the baby has blue eyes makes me wonder. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Got some cute smiles.
And she has the most beautiful eyes. Like,
Yeah,
she
she's
just has,
got
like,
blue
this
eyes, which
little
is
look
interesting because I got green and Gypsy got brown.
Did y'all notice that that baby cried every time Gypsy held it? I think that was very suspicious. The way that baby was hollering every time Gypsy was holding it, I feel like it said a whole lot.
If you were paying attention like I was paying attention, nobody asked in the comments if they were getting married. I made sure to look at the previous comments for at least a minute before she ever asked that question because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss it. I slowed it down several times. Nobody asked that question. She asked that question because she wanted to see what Ken was going to say. Little things like this can be very irritating for a guy, especially when you're in a very new relationship. Guys do not want to feel pressured into getting married, and this seems like a constant theme with Gypsy, wanting to get married, thinking that marriage is some sort of a fairy tale. But the way that she played it off by pretending that somebody was asking that question in the comments, that's manipulation. And those are the things that I continue to point out in her behavior. She is very calculated, very cunning, very manipulative. She wants Ken to feel like the viewers want them to get married and are asking if they're going to get married. She wants him to feel like it's not coming from her, but it's coming from her.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard's latest live stream was supposed to be a chill, intimate moment with fans. Just her baby's father, Ken, and their newborn daughter. But instead of the cozy, heartwarming Quanda viewers expected, the entire thing turned into a cringeworthy spectacle dripping with tension, awkward silences, and unsettling moments that had fans side-eyeing their relationship harder than ever. Right from the start, the vibes were off. Gypsy clung to their baby like a shield, her grip tight, almost protective, while Ken sat beside her, stiff as a board, his face locked in a barely concealed grimace. The chemistry, non-existent. The energy, ice cold. This wasn't a happy family moment. It was a forced performance, and neither of them was winning any Oscars. Then came Ken's robotic, dead-eyed, "Are you okay?" A question that didn't sound like concern, but like a scripted line after a blowout fight. And Gypsy's blunt no, that wasn't just an answer. It was a grenade. The way she said it, staring straight ahead like she was holding back a storm of words. Chilling. But the awkwardness didn't stop there. At one point, Gypsy accidentally exposed their baby's face on camera. A small moment, but in the middle of all that tension, it felt like yet another crack in the facade. Then, as if things couldn't get more uncomfortable, the baby started crying, and instead of a natural, loving parental response, the whole thing just added another layer of what is happening here. So let's get real. What really went down between Gypsy and Ken before they hit go live? Was this just a bad night, or is there something deeper unraveling behind the scenes? The way they barely looked at each other, the forced smiles, the palpable resentment, none of this screams stable, happy relationship. And with Gypsy's history of trauma and control, fans can't help but wonder, is history repeating itself? This story is just getting started. You do not want to miss what happens next. So stick around until the end, because we're breaking down every red flag, every cryptic clue, and what this could mean for Gypsy's future. And if you want to help out the channel with some engagement, please hit subscribe and turn on post notifications, because when this drama explodes, you'll want to be the first to know. Let's dive in.
You're welcome, Gypsy.
Oh, you got mommy's chain. Yeah, you got mommy's chain. Okay.
I don't talk.
Say what?
Yeah, my chain.
There you go, love.
Here we go.
You look so good. You look like Hillary Clinton.
It's not a compliment.
Well,
I'm here today because Gypsy Rose learning her story a year or two back, it just really made me feel like I wanted to learn more about her story and how she is as a person rather than just how she was portrayed online.
There's so much love in that room.
In life, the more criticism and the more hate I get. There's a lot stacked against me. A lot of people want to see me fail. Like a sea of a million sharks. Yes, I'm white and blonde, but I'm still a very shy person. And so having
What is this, like,
confidence within
scamming her
myself is
mind?
something that I'm hoping
this
that
right
I
here?
have in that moment. I won't know until
Yes! She looks like a baby Harry Potter.
No little lightning bolt. Yes, I do change diapers, of course. We both do. No, we're not showing the baby's face.
Something was off. The air felt heavy, thick with tension even a child could sense. Gypsy's body was a live wire of repressed emotion, every muscle locked tight as she cradled the baby just a little too close, her grip betraying the anxiety she refused to voice. Her eyes darted, avoiding direct contact, as if meeting someone's gaze might shatter whatever fragile composure she was clinging to. Every forced smile, every stiff adjustment of her posture screamed discomfort, like she was one wrong word away from unraveling. And then there was Ken, a storm brewing beneath a mask of detachment. His silence was louder than any outburst, his every sigh, every exaggerated eye roll, every deliberate step back radiating barely contained frustration. The way he crossed his arms, the subtle shake of his head, the way he physically distanced himself. It was a masterclass in passive-aggressive withdrawal. This wasn't just tension, it was a ticking time bomb. The kind of quiet hostility that makes your skin prickle, waiting for the inevitable explosion. You could feel it, the unspoken resentment, the brewing confrontation, the moment when one wrong move would send everything crashing down.
Y'all keep saying, let that girl be your mama. But if a baby is constantly crying when you're holding it, but when the baby is with someone else, they're not crying and you're the bio mom. Listen, a baby could spot evil from a mile away. Okay? Y'all gonna get in here and talk about, let her be your mom. Then she unalived her mom for sausage. Did you not see that she been lying since the age of 6? Telling her mom that she didn't have any feeling in her legs. And y'all saying to trust her? She admitted that she lied in court documents. But y'all out here playing. She used a man with autism and a low IQ, collecting a permanent disability check, and y'all saying let her be a mom? If she used the disabled, what do you think she would do to a kid?
This was the kind of tension you could feel through the screen, the kind that makes you sit up and think, wait, what's really going on here? He barely looked at Gypsy, his body language stiff and distant, like he'd rather be anywhere else. When he did acknowledge her, it was with the bare minimum. A forced smile that didn't reach his eyes, a short reply that landed like a brick. This wasn't just two people sharing a quiet moment. This was the kind of silence that screamed unresolved drama. Every attempt to play it cool only made the awkwardness worse. The stilted small talk, the way their energy clashed instead of flowed, it was painfully obvious they were pretending. And the worst part, they weren't even good at it. Whatever went down before they hit record wasn't just some minor disagreement. It was bad enough that they couldn't shake it off, bad enough that it hung between them like a thick fog. The tension was so palpable, you could practically hear the unspoken words, the things left angrily unsaid. And here's the wildest part. They didn't even try to hide it. No fake laughs, no over-the-top friendliness to cover the mess. Just cold, uncomfortable reality playing out in real time. Was this a falling out? A betrayal? Or just two people who realized they're on completely different pages?
You were so uncomfortable holding your baby.
Okay.
I want to see this side.
Newly reconnected, unexpectedly.
Shame on y'all people.
Did she say hi again?
Someone in Battery, it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Moving into a new house is a very big priority of mine right
Thanks,
now.
Brandon.
She's lying. She didn't even try.
Christy, shame on us. Shame on y'all, man. And I get it. Like, first-time moms, in the beginning, it becomes awkward. It's just like, it's like, oh my gosh, there's this little tiny human, and I totally understand. The baby's not a little tiny baby anymore. You should be just, and you know why you were uncomfortable? This is my own thoughts and opinion, is because you were so desperate to prove your point to Nina. That's why you're doing this. You're just like you's mama. You're so desperate to prove your point that you wanted to make sure you put her in this, thing when you're walking around the house and stuff, to keep her head turned a certain way. So her face wouldn't be exposed. So that way you're not going back on your word of, I'll never expose her on the internet, blah, 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 blah. Just because we don't see her face don't mean that you're not putting her on the internet, Dodo. There's a foot, there's a head, there's a hand. You're still putting her on the internet. The only thing is you're not showing her face. And so what? More so than that, you care more about proving your point. You don't care that the baby's uncomfortable. You care about you. That's sad, man. That baby didn't want to keep her head turned a certain way the whole time, just so you didn't have to not break your promise of exposing her when you were doing it anyway. Your brain is screwed up. Gypsy, you're wrong for that. For caring more about proving your point to Nina than your own baby. And why did I think this was important? Because you're already using your child.
As the live stream continued, what started as typical new mom behavior quickly escalated into something far more intense. Gypsy's interactions with her daughter weren't just protective, they were obsessive. She couldn't keep her hands still, constantly adjusting the baby's blanket, repositioning her, and checking on her in rapid, almost frantic succession. Even when little Ken was perfectly content, Gypsy's nervous energy took over, her fingers twitching to fix something, anything, as if stillness was unbearable. What made it even more unsettling? The way she barely gave Ken, the baby's father, a moment to step in. Every time he tried to soothe or hold their child, Gypsy was right there, subtly reclaiming control, like she needed to be the one in charge at all times. Fans flooded the comments, torn between sympathy and suspicion. Was this just a first-time mom's anxiety, or was it something deeper? After years of being controlled in the most horrific way, was Gypsy now struggling not to become the one who micromanages everything? Or was this a calculated performance, an attempt to prove she's the perfect mother after everything?
No, just rolling. Okay. Oh, I know. I know. Wait, that shark song again? Baby shark. Am I saying it right? I don't know. Monkeys. Oh, it's back on.
Okay. Come. So you ready, Gypsy? You're welcome, Gypsy. Come on.
Oh, you got mommy's chain. Yeah, you got mommy's chain. Okay. Come on, I don't know.
See what?
You just got my chain. There
It goes up.
we go. Just put your ground over.
Looks so good. Like Hillary Clinton.
That's not a compliment.
I'm here today because Gypsy Rose starting her story in year 2 lab. It just really made me feel like I wanted to learn more about her story and how she is as a person rather than just how she was portrayed online.
There's so much love in that room.
When life, the more criticism and more hate I get. There's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of people want to see me fail. Like, see it really sharks. Yes, I'm like mom, but I'm still a very shy person. And so having this like giving her microphone, I'm thinking this is your moment, but I'm like, yes, she looks like a baby Harry Potter.
No little lightning bolt.
This wasn't just an awkward moment between Gypsy and Ken. This was the kind of tension that had TikTok detectives, Reddit sleuths, and even casual fans hitting rewind just to make sure they saw it right. What should have been a simple, everyday parenting moment turned into a microscopic power struggle. And honey, Gypsy made it crystal clear who's calling the shots. It all started innocently enough. Gypsy casually mentioned the baby might need feeding, and Ken, being the involved dad he's portrayed himself to be, immediately stepped up. No hesitation, no fuss. Just a simple, I got it, I'll take her off camera. A totally normal, even admirable response, except Gypsy wasn't having it. She shut him down instantly, insisting she would handle it, but still expected Ken to stay close, engaged, and watching. Now, here's where things got juicy. It wasn't just the refusal that had people side-eyeing their screens, it was the way she did it. Her tone wasn't just firm, it carried this subtle edge, like she was questioning whether Ken could even be trusted with something as basic as feeding their own child. And even after Ken reassured her, calmly, patiently, that he absolutely could handle it, she paused, stared at him for a beat too long, like she was mentally weighing whether to allow him to parent his own baby. And then, decision made. She physically walked over, took the baby from him, and handled it herself. All while Ken just stood there, looking like he was trying to figure out what he'd done wrong. That moment alone had fans spiraling. Was it just an overprotective mom moment? A subtle jab at Ken's parenting skills? Or was this a glimpse into something deeper about their dynamic? The internet has thoughts, and let's just say, they're not holding back. The internet exploded. Was this just an overprotective mom moment? A one-off case of new parent nerves? Or was this a glaring hint at a much bigger issue in their relationship? Comment sections were flooded with takes. She doesn't trust him at all. Why even have a partner if you won't let him parent? This is giving controlling vibes. And let's be real, when the internet picks up on this level of tension, you know there's more to unpack.
Aurora was supposedly born December 28th. So as of now, that would make her roughly 2.5 months old, right? And according to Raina, Ken's mama, this baby weighed 5 pounds and some odd ounces, right? And we have to also take into consideration the baby was born a little bit premature. You know, a couple weeks or whatever, premature. Not dangerously premature, but a little bit, right? Tiny little peanut of a baby, right? 5 pounds and something ounces. Okay, so she's in the chair, and you can see this baby she's holding is clearly older than 2.5 months old. You can see the baby has real good control of her little head and neck. Okay, and at 2.5 months old, they're starting to hold their head up, and because you figure 8 weeks old, they're just starting to learn. This baby's doing real good with the head. Then listen to the baby cooing. Yeah, I understand they make the noises from the time they're born, but this baby's clearly interacting with her. How babies will have almost like a little conversation, right? A 2.5 month old baby is not going to do that. This baby appears to be, not no expert, clearly, but if I had to guess, that baby looks at least 4 months old, if not more.
The way Gypsy took that baby from Ken wasn't just a simple handoff, it was a calculated power move. There was nothing natural or instinctual about it. Her grip was tight, her posture rigid, almost like she didn't trust Ken to hold his own child. And Ken? He barely resisted. Sure, he looked irritated, but he let it happen without a word. That silent exchange spoke volumes. This wasn't about the baby's safety or comfort. This was about dominance. Gypsy's possessiveness wasn't just noticeable. It was suffocating. She hovered over Ken like a hawk, scrutinizing his every interaction with their child, as if he couldn't be trusted to do even the simplest tasks. And before anyone dismisses this as typical new mom jitters, let's be clear. This level of control isn't just overprotectiveness, it's a warning sign. Experts say that when a parent systematically undermines the other's role, it can be the first step toward emotional isolation, manipulation, and even abuse. The way Gypsy micromanaged Ken wasn't just awkward, it was unsettling. But then came the moment that truly shocked viewers, Gypsy's disturbing attempt to burp the baby. Now, we all know newborns need gentle pats, but what we heard on that live stream wasn't gentle. Those were loud, jarring thumps, the kind of force you'd use on an adult, not a fragile 3-month-old. The sound alone made people cringe, sparking immediate concern. Was this just inexperience, or something more troubling? Given Gypsy's traumatic past, raised under the shadow of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, it's impossible not to wonder, is history repeating itself? Is she unconsciously mirroring the same controlling behaviors she once endured? Or is this simply a case of a new mom struggling to adjust? Either way, the tension between Gypsy and Ken is impossible to ignore, and the way she interacts with that baby raises serious questions. What do you think? Is this just new parent anxiety, or are we witnessing the early signs of a toxic dynamic? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below.
That's a no face.
Alright, now you just
never mind.
See?
No, you got it.
She's going for it now.
Yeah, she is. She responds better than mommy.
What I hope that they take away is that, regardless, maybe she was out here with Daddy.
Oh,
knees.
Baby shark.
Baby shark. I'm not a good singer like that, my kids. Baby shark. I think she's hungry.
Okay, I'll go make a ball.
Okay, we'll make a ball. Actually, there's something left in there.
How old is it? I'll make a new one.
Make a new one. Okay, one day. Okay. I know, you hungry. I know. You're hungry, Daddy. Look at you. It's okay. Grab a little bun. Put it in the foot. There we go.
What we just witnessed on that live stream wasn't just a cringeworthy parenting fail, it was a full-blown red flag. Even Ken, the man who usually stays silent through everything, couldn't mask his shock. His face? Priceless. The moment he finally stepped in, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Let's get one thing straight. This wasn't just inexperience. This was negligence. And it's got the internet talking? Buckle up, because we're breaking it all down. Gypsy's approach wasn't just rough, it was aggressive. The way she maneuvered that newborn had viewers squirming in their seats. And Ken? At first he stayed quiet, but his expression said everything. The second things took a turn, his eyes locked onto the baby, hesitating, debating whether to step in. And when he finally did, night and day difference. Gypsy surprisingly handed the baby over without protest. And just like that, the alarming noises stopped. No jerky movements, no unsettling sounds. Just calm, controlled care. Ken had instincts, a few gentle adjustments, and the baby settled immediately. But here's the real problem. Gypsy didn't even realize she'd done anything wrong. No pause, no reflection, just blank detachment. That's not just a mistake. That's a pattern. And it raises the biggest question of all. Does she even know how to safely handle her own child? Then came the next disaster. They couldn't find a single baby essential. It started with the pacifier. Gypsy swore it was in the crib. Ken searched everywhere while she sat there, only for her to suddenly realize it was at her feet the whole time. Awkward? Absolutely. But instead of laughing it off, the tension in the room thickened. Then came the sanitizing wipe debacle. Since the pacifier had been on the floor, Ken naturally asked, "Where are the wipes?" Gypsy's response, "In the stroller." Simple, right? Wrong. Because Ken had no clue where the stroller even was. Cue the frantic searching, the confused glances. It was like watching two people who'd never organized a baby item in their lives. But the real red flag, the way Gypsy struggled to hold her own child, the stiff grip, the constant repositioning, it didn't look like natural new mom adjustment. It looked like she barely carries her baby. And that's concerning.
Clip, you can just see the way that she's holding the baby. She's bouncing the baby's head and seemingly blowing in her face or her nose. When I saw this, I was just immediately concerned. In my last video, I told you guys I had a tip that CPS was definitely involved. Other creators have talked about this, and even Entertainment Lawyer put out a blind item, and he is pretty reliable. I was told CPS was involved. They definitely visited, but I don't know about the custody thing. But somebody brought up in the comments on my last video that you never see Gypsy alone with the baby. Somebody is always there. Also in the video, she says to the baby, "You belong to me." I mean, I can't even see it saying that in a loving way. "Oh, you belong to me." I mean, it's especially from GRB. What are y'all's thoughts on this behavior? It's very concerning, it's bizarre, and it's unsafe and unsettling.
Now, let's talk about the baby reveal that wasn't even supposed to be a reveal. Gypsy spent months preaching about protecting her daughter's privacy, swearing up and down she'd never expose Aurora's face online. But then, in this live stream, she did the next best thing. She described her baby's face in excruciating detail, right down to her eye color and resemblance to an AI-generated ultrasound pic. Girl, you might as well have just posted a selfie at that point. So much for privacy, huh? And while we're on the topic of parenting, let's be real. Ken looked like the more natural caregiver, cradling that baby like a pro, while Gypsy seemed more focused on her hair flip game than actually, mothering. But wait, it gets even messier. When the topic of marriage came up, Gypsy shut it down immediately. But Ken? Oh, he hit us with the classic "not yet," which, let's be honest, is just code for "I'm not that into you." And this isn't the first time he's dodged the question. Weeks ago, he straight up said marriage wasn't a priority, yet Gypsy's still out here waiting for that ring like it's the last slice of pizza. If he wanted to, he would. So why hasn't he? Is he unsure about her? Or worse, does he not see a future with her at all? And don't even get me started on the control issues. Gypsy was micromanaging Ken's every move with the baby, narrating Aurora's features like she was trying to script a Lifetime movie and breaking her own rules left and right. Is this the behavior of someone who's truly changed? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like the same old patterns, just with a baby in the mix now. And with FOIA documents revealing even more questionable details, Gypsy's not exactly proving the doubters wrong.
They're making me feel bad for Gypsy. They're making me feel real bad for Gypsy. I feel bad. She's like kind of nice. And I hope you didn't see her live stream last night because the baby's looking real cute and Cannon and her looks real nice. I mean, no, it's fine. They look great. Gypsy's doing a little something with the hair. That's all we needed, Gypsy. You look so cute. You look real nice. I mean, I wish you had your mother, but it's okay. Because you know what? We're gonna move from the past and we're gonna move forwards. Yeller in that dark hair, I loves it. Cute as a goddamn button. And the baby looks like you. I'm just saying, she kind of really looks like you. We know you want to show that baby. Gypsy, just show the damn baby. We know you're teasing for it. You're big. You're dying to show the kid. Just show the kid already. We know you want to. Hiding and protecting my asshole. You ain't protecting nothing. You pretty much showed the damn baby already. Gypsy, damn it. It's a real good time because I love a fun time.
So what's really going on here? Is Ken low-key the more stable parent? Is Gypsy's need for control exposing deeper issues? And most importantly, is this relationship doomed? Sound off in the comments because I need to know what you think. Oh, and before you go, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this train wreck is far from over, and you do not want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned because things are about to get even wilder.